Fearless Disease.
Fearless Disease fam, today we expose the truth they hate to hear, like right now, if you are ready. Fed's decision today, cuts are expected by Powell signals, and they should put a pause on future moves. And this has brought a lot of uncertainty in the market. But I think that's all a smoke mirror about what's going on, especially when it comes to Fed rates. Let's hear what the CNN has to say about this.
Breaking news just a few minutes ago, we got brand new data on inflation. We've been waiting for this. We didn't get any readings during the government shutdown. This was for November, and it does show inflation cooling off a little bit. Let's get right to CNN's Matt Egan to explain these numbers. What are they and what do they mean, Matt?
Well, John, this was a surprise, a positive surprise on arguably the number one economic issue right now.
It's not a surprise. This is the honesty not being shown here on TV. It's not a surprise. Trump said it was going to be able to, inflation was going to go down. Why you didn't believe him?
Affordability. Now, we were bracing for today's report to show that inflation stayed at 3% in September, but it didn't. It actually slowed to 2.7%. Now, not only is that a 4-month low, that is better than the expectation of 3%. And when you look at the trend here, the left side of the screen here, this is last year. And you could see inflation really was coming down last summer. And then it actually bottomed in April at around 2.3%, right? That was really giving people some hopes that maybe we'd be back to that 2% goal that the Fed considers healthy. And then that's when the president rolled out his Liberation Day tariffs. And you can see how much inflation ticked up, in part because of those tariffs. The good news is that it is coming back down, at least based on today's numbers. Now, we don't know what the inflation rate was in October. That's because the government shutdown messed with the collection of data. Just to remind everyone, though, the fact that the inflation rate has come down, it doesn't mean that prices are falling across the economy. It means they're still going up, just at a more gradual pace. Now, let's look at some of the things that got more expensive in November. I think the good news is that gasoline was only...
Very true. I mean, these numbers are, he's correct. Inflation dipped down in that April. It went down, but that was right before the tariffs. So the tariffs started bumping up a little bit more because it was inevitable. Trump has spoke about this. It was going to happen. He says a bumpy road to the Golden Gate. So when you shut off certain imports and you want to be able to negotiate a little bit more to be able to say, hey, you're going to bring your products in here. You're another country. You're going to bring your products in America, and you were getting it for free. No, you're not just going to bring stuff over here and get 100% profits over here, buddy. So we put tariffs on it, which is taxes on it. So if you sell things over here, we're going to get a portion of it. So that was very smart. But of course, with negotiations, it's going to make things a little bit higher. So what? They're going to have to bend the knee. America is the powerhouse.
Up by less than 1%. In fact, gas prices continue to fall this month. Groceries, another major point of frustration in recent years, grocery prices only up by 1.9%. So that's less than the overall rate of inflation. However, there were still some things that got a lot more expensive. Look at this, electricity, 7% almost. Natural gas, which is what people use to heat their homes often, 9%. And bad news for coffee lovers.
Now, why would you say that on here? You said you got some important things on here when it comes to inflation, and you're showing us gas, okay, that went up. Groceries, that went up. Of course, we got to eat. Electricity, we need electricity, keep our house warm and everything, that went up. Natural gas, that went up, keeping the gas in houses, and that's cool. And then at the end, they put instant coffee. Who cares? They're talking about things that are important to people to stay alive. CNN always drives off to things that is not important. So you want to be able to throw that in there to get the feelings of some people just because, oh, my coffee is going up. That's not something that you need. There's little tweaks that sometimes I look at CNN that they just wanted to feed off the real emotional viewer. It doesn't work over here at Fearless Disease.
Instant coffee got 24% more expensive year over year. That's the biggest annual increase since 1995. But look, when you put it all together, this is overall encouraging news, John, when it comes to the cost of living, and investors over on Wall Street seem to like it.
I know. Look at it. Dow Dow's futures up 0.53%. The NASDAQ 1.38%. And S&P 500 futures are 0.82% up. They have been going up since the beginning of the year.
Because we see U.S. stock futures have moved modestly higher since these numbers came out. Back to you.
Yeah, those numbers up because I think the inflation numbers good on their face, and also better than expected.
Very
right
true.
There. Although I will say, when you put up those prices for instant coffee, as someone who wakes up pretty early in the morning, my heart skipped a beat there.
Nobody wants to hear that.
Hopefully that's an anomaly. Matt Egan, thank you for this. We're going to keep talking about this throughout the show. With us now, Congressman Gregory Meeks, a Democrat from New York. Congressman, nice to see you this morning. So this brand new inflation data just in shows it cooling off down to 2.7% from 3% in September. Better than expected. Your reaction to what is some positive economic news?
Well, look, here's what I'll say, that when you look at the investments that individuals like the president's friends have made in AI and those kinds of things, that is what has kept the economy somewhat afloat. But it does not help the average everyday American who is seeing grocery prices, who are looking at the cost of.
That's how they feed into the emotions. Listen to the emotions. Listen to the emotions. They'll say something good. President Trump did good with the inflation. It's going down. Then they'll double back, try to get to your emotions on what's happening right now and not looking at the future, which means about groceries. Of course, groceries going to go a little bit higher because we import a lot of groceries when it comes to other countries. We have to take a hit a little bit more to be able to get to the promised land. But when you talk about groceries, what does that do? They go to the groceries as far as your money. And usually who does for groceries? It goes to the women. So these are little things they do to be able to get on the emotional side, especially when it comes to women. So then they'll feed off of that. They don't see the good part of what's going on with inflation that's going down. It's going to get better, and going into the second year, going into Trump's candidacy, is going to be able to drop down. This is what they do. Emotional. CNN is basically an emotional network.
Living at a cost of housing. These are real pains that the president said that he would be.
No, cost of housing has nothing to do with President Trump. Cost of housing is being able to give, of course, a whole lot of illegals free housing. And, of course, it's going to make it harder for the American people to be able to buy it. So interest rates are going to continue to grow. They're going down a little bit right now. Interest rates are going to grow in the long time if you continue to keep giving free housing to illegals. It has nothing to do with what Trump is doing. It has nothing to do with him. It has everything to do with the Biden administration letting everybody and their mama in for free.
Able to fix on day one, and here we are about a year later, and it is getting worse as a result of his tariffs, actually, which is a tax to the American people.
Well, but since September, just to be clear, and we have the chart up so people can see, and inflation did go up between April and a peak in September, which you can see on the right of your screen there, Congressman. You can't see it, but we're showing the numbers did go up from a low of like 2.4% in April up to 3% in September, but now going down again. And all I'm asking is, does it look like it's headed in the right direction now?
Exactly. Answer the question.
Well, we want inflation to go down. We also don't want unemployment to go up.
See what I'm talking about? He said, going back to the question, is inflation going down? You see it going down even more. He goes off and said, jobs. And this is what they do. They go around the question and they try to find some type of way to get feelings out of you. We catch it every single time here at FearlessDisease.
If you look at, want to look at all of the statistics, you got to look at both. So we see that the number of jobs that were created was down. The unemployment rate for the first time has gone up, higher than it's been in a number of years. So, when you try to look at this, I try to look at it not just on how it feels for those who are well-to-do, but how does it feel for the average, everyday American citizen? And how has it improved their lives? And do they feel a difference? And I think that if you go around America and you talk to the individuals who the president seems not to ever meet with or anything of that nature, because those are not.
Stop lying. You think he don't care about the small guy? The smaller guy is actually the ones that benefit from these tariffs, and they're actually building jobs. These blue collar men. That's the everyday man. Because when you get a blue collar man that's doing well in America, everybody thrives. He creates his own businesses and gives more jobs. but you want to give more money to the corporations so they can be able to be the big powerhouse, not the smaller guy. It's the other way around. These are the games they play.
Not the well-to-do who's making these deals on critical minerals, etc., for themselves, because it's been very good for them. But if you talk to the average everyday American, the hard worker, ask them how they feel, and they will tell you exactly how they feel.
They feel great. Jobs are coming back. Everything is looking good. Just because you want to be able to pull on the strings of the weaker Americans that they flourish off their feelings and mean American citizens are not doing well. That's enough of this video right now. That's enough. That's enough. That's the most I can take when it comes to the emotional side. But if you guys want to continue to watch it, the link is going to be in the description. As always, smash the like, tap the next video on the screen, subscribe, hit the bell. CashApp FearlessDisease is always in the description if you are rocking with the movement. See you on the next one. Stay rich and stay fearless.